Nice to see you. You well?
So my first question is, was your approach to directing the light and the dark scenes different?
It was a really tricky balance, and both in terms of the development of the script with Joe and the editing process with Mark Day, my editor. That was where a lot of the sort of fine-tuning came, because obviously there are some fairly intense, dark things in the story that feel very melancholic or brooding or just plain scary, and then there's very broad comedy. And so those two forms and those two tones don't necessarily always coexist in the same movie. But Jo is such a generous writer. She really wants to give, and it existed in the books, it existed in the Potter movies. They were always rich. You know, they had so many different storytelling muscles at work. So yes, it was a careful balancing act. And actually, we found that the structure of the movie worked better some ways than others.
Okay.
So we would move scenes around.
Such as?
Yeah, just to sort of, so by juxtaposition, we found a combination that felt balanced, and it took a bit of trial and error to get to that combination.
Okay.
And it's always the way whenever you edit a movie, you know, you put it together and you often sit there scratching your head going, oh, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't, that's funny, but then it goes serious, and then the funny bit after that doesn't feel funny anymore because of the serious bit before it. And so it was trial and error to find that balance, to find the melody in the script. And also, I mean, Jo was ahead of us always because she's such a bright, prolific, fast thinker. But there was a degree of balancing everything up in the post-production process.
Just maintain the tone of the...
Yeah, to balance the tones.
Yeah.
You know.
As a director, could you give some advice for student directors for translating what's in their head to the stage or just the screen?
The most important thing is to be to only work on things that you feel totally passionate about.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. That you would love to bring either to the screen or the stage, because it's a tough old process. It involves it's not just the logistics of doing it, which are often difficult, time-consuming, and potentially expensive. It's just the fact that you need to be carried through that process with your love for what you want to do, and that will be your greatest armor when all the things that will inevitably go wrong. Making films is a series of problems, and that in itself is wonderful because you have to create a mindset which is about dealing with problems, and you enjoy that process of dealing with the problems and the challenges. But so therefore, what fuels you through is an excitement and a love for the story that you're telling, and that will protect you and keep you going through all the things that might challenge or disappoint you in that process.
So just do what you love.
Do what
just
you love, yeah. Don't do
heart.
something because it feels casual or okay, or you think you might try this. You need a degree of passion and love for what you want to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so
Great.
much.
All right, mate. Nice to see you. Yeah, take care.